I think the number one story when you're talking about this Green Bay Packers has to be the offense, right? So I
I'd
want
agree.
to open by talking about we've seen some videos coming out. Jordan Love is making throws. We got to see Matthew Golden. I don't know if we got any videos or images of that. I sent some stuff to the show email, but we may not have been able to get the graphics package in. I thought it was exciting to see Jordan Love out there making some big throws, forming a connection with Matthew Golden early on. I think that, you got to see Matt LaFleur come out and talk about Jaden Reed, the job he's done mentoring people, integrating these guys in, and that's all well and good in practice. But I think what you saw today of the way Jordan Love was throwing, the way some of these guys were getting attention with the ball, it's going to be a big year for some of these rookie receivers. They're going to be asked to do a whole lot in this offense.
When you talk about Matthew Golden, I'm going to wait a little bit to hear more news on Golden before I have too big of reactions. But here's what I will say is I'm not expecting Matthew Golden to come in and dominate next season. I don't think that's going to happen. I'd be very upset if it did. But a lot of times with these receivers, I do think that you start to see little trinkets of dominance or future dominance come out of training camp and offseason activities where, I think about the Vikings and Randy Moss. Go look at those old stories. Now, I'm not trying to equate Matthew Golden to Randy Moss. But when Randy Moss was practicing with the Vikings, first day of practice, I think he just came out, ran a go route, ran past everyone, and every single person on the Vikings went, holy crap, this guy's good. And you start to see, I remember Creed Humphrey was dominating at center for the Chiefs. Like the guys who are really good, you start to see flashes in practice and you hear murmurings. The Packers kind of need that at receiver. I think we've all talked about how they need an alpha there. And I think we might be overusing the term alpha, but they just need a true number one receiver, a guy who can take over. That's what I'm going to have my attention on is how good is Matthew Golden? Is he someone who looks like he's a project that's going to need to improve during the season? Or is he someone that week one, when they're playing the Lions, is going to make a big impact immediately?
We'll say this. If you go and watch some of the routes that were run in practice today, there is a notable difference in terms of speed, fluidity, just how he looks out there than every single other receiver on the Packers. And when we hear today that Romeo Doubs and Dontavian Wicks had drops, they're going to need somebody to step up.
Well, nothing else is new there. But I mean, being drafted in the first round, especially over there in Green Bay, he's drafted to be that guy. And he's in such a perfect situation, too. Unlike Tet over in Carolina.
Oh, Tet McMillan?
Yeah. Well, I just think he'll be force-fed the ball and put up good fantasy numbers. Matthew Golden, he's a speedster. He gets down the field. And there will be numerous occasions where he's left alone. Because there's three other guys to worry about there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I love this situation for...
And you got the tight ends. They got
him.
good tight ends there, too, and Josh Jacobs. So that's the dream for the Packers offense this year. Any Packers fan, you think about what this offense can be. Okay, you want to leave one of these guys on an island? Sure, we'll take that. All right, you want to put 6, 7 in the box? We'll let Josh Jacobs run right through you. That's the dream for the Packers this year is pick your poison and we'll make you pay for it. It's now a matter of the passing game reaching the level that the run game did last season. That is not where I thought you were going at all with that. Where
do you think I was going with that?
I thought the stories we were going to talk about was Elton Jenkins and Edwin Cooper. So I was questioning.
Oh yeah, Elton Jenkins is holding out because he wants a new contract. I guess that's true. Is he going to get it? Who knows? He doesn't want to be a center. He wants to be paid like a guard. Then moving him to the center screws him over. That's the story there. You need him to come back because we saw all the permutations, the offensive line they were throwing out while he's not able to practice. You need him in playing center.
Well, you said Elton Jenkins, and then we'll go back to your actual topic in a second here. But you said Elton Jenkins. Didn't you guarantee he wouldn't be a Packer in 2026?
I said he would not be a Packer in 2026 unless he negotiates a new contract for significantly less money, which I think is not going to happen.
Very quickly, just to kind of give people who may not be aware of that situation and understanding of it, probably including Jack, honestly, and this is right now.
I'm not going to confirm or deny.
The Packers signed Aaron Banks, as everyone knows, this offseason to the massive contract. A lot of people were upset with the contract that they handed Aaron Banks to come in and play guard for their team. When they did that, they moved. And this actually, I think this is pretty interesting. And Elton Jenkins kind of has a point here. They moved Elton Jenkins from guard to center, right? So they decided to replace Josh Myers, their center, with Elton Jenkins, as opposed to perhaps leaving Jenkins a guard and finding a new center in the draft. So they moved Jenkins over to center, but center makes less money than guards in the NFL.
A lot less. Elton Jenkins this year will be the second highest paid center in the entire NFL.
Yeah, behind who? Only Creed Humphrey, right? Creed Humphrey's $18 million, and the leading guard in the NFL makes $21 million.
Elton Jenkins, if he were to sign an equivalent contract at center, he's making 17 right now at left guard. At center, he'd probably be getting paid 8 or 9. That would put him at about the equivalent, half the money.
So Elton Jenkins is sitting back here saying he has 2 more years left on his deal, but he can be cut for relatively cheap heading into next season. He's saying, guys, like, what the hell? You just moved me over to center. I'm going to make way less money than I would have. I'm an all-pro at guard. I want some future stability here. Financial stability.
You replaced me. You're paying a guy who's much worse at the position than me, substantially more money.
So it's actually a reasonable slight.
Hold on, who gets paid more, center or guard?
The guards get paid more than the centers.
Way more.
Why?
It's complicated, but basically, the basic thought is that guards do more of the blocking work a little bit.
Center has it tougher. Got to snap the ball, look up, block this nose tackle.
Yeah, but the thing is if you're the center, usually there's a guy helping you. Either the left guard or the right guard. You're often not one-on-one.
Usually a guard.
Yeah, but it's like it's one of the guards, right? Whereas if you're the guard, half the time you're going to be on your own. I think that actually the same way you've seen the guard market explode recently, the center market's going to catch up as people realize the interior, the offensive line is important. But as it is right now, the guard market has exploded. The center market has not exploded yet. And if you're Elton Jenkins, there's a very good chance that you are going to get cut next year and miss out on $20+ million.
It's and the guard market, the safety markets, like these markets have blown up more from what they used to be. The running back market's about to probably.
Do you like markets, Ziggy?
I don't know. I'm kind of neutral on markets. I don't know. Actually, markets are pretty good.
I like markets.
They keep things going. But the center market should catch up. But I think Elton Jenkins actually has a reasonable claim here to be upset. Now, it sounds like Ziggy still is holding the belief that the Packers next year are going to just let him go after he'll be 30 years old next offseason. And the Packers typically don't give big contracts to people over age 30. But that's just something to monitor as we continue through this offseason is what happens with the Elton Jenkins situation.
Well, a lot depends, too, on what they want Jordan Morgan to do. He got work today at right guard. Everybody's been saying he's going to be playing at tackle next year. I don't think that's as obvious as everyone pretends. He might. With the second team today, he worked at left tackle. The first team, he worked at right guard. I think they're still trying to find a spot for him. But if he's going to be playing guard for you, you've got Aaron Banks getting paid at left guard. You're going to have to pay one of Zach Tom or Rasheed Walker. The Packers already have one of the most expensive offensive lines in the NFL. And frankly, they're not the Eagles or the Lions. No. I think they have a good offensive line, but they don't get the results of having one of the highest paid offensive lines in the entire NFL. They're going to have to make tough choices. And I think one of those tough choices will be Elton Jenkins leaving the team, which is why he's trying to hold out and get some financial security.